Yo, what is going on, y'all? It is your boy AT from AT's Barstool, and today we are back here again on episode 12 of AT's Barstool on his podcast. And today we are going to be talking about a lot of things. A lot of things went on the last week or two. And if you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll really appreciate it. And don't forget to follow my Instagram page. Link will be down in the description. Now, the first thing we are going to be talking about is going to be the track meet at the University of Delaware, which we all know. I went there and interviewed guys such as Amir Miller, Amir Jones Branch, and Jaden Feaster, all Middletown's top 200 runners, which two of them clocked the 22:30, and the other one clocked the 22:48, which they did really well in that meet, and I ended up interviewing them. If you guys want to see that, it's in my Instagram. It's on my Instagram page. Link will be in the bio if you guys want to see that. And I'm also going to be doing more interviews later on in the future. Don't forget to tune in and subscribe to this channel and follow my Instagram page. Now, the first thing is we're going to talk about the University of Delaware, which we was already talking about when I interviewed the guys. A lot of good teams, a lot of teams that did really well was Dickinson's boys 4x4 team. They did really well. Guys mainly, well, the main guys such as Isaiah McKnight, Jafari Payne, and Tyler Duran did really well, including freshman Joshua Page, who was also on that 4x4 team at the University of Delaware, where they absolutely rolled their competition and had one of the best times that day. And also some other teams that did well was Middletown. They did well in the hurdles and the 200 meter, where they got the three guys I interviewed, they all were top three in their heat. Well, not only was it their heat, but it was the fastest heat too. So they did really well there. And not only that, Del Castle girls, they did really well in the hurdles. And it was just a lot of good runs. And a lot of good runs, a lot of good places or whatever. And yeah, track, it was really well. But the main topic here, well, that is one of the main topics. But the next topic we are going to be talking about is the national championship, the Houston Cougars versus the Florida Gators. That game was, if not one of the best games in recent memory when it comes down to the national championship, where Florida ended up winning for 65-63. Was I upset about Houston losing? Yes, because I thought this year was Houston's year. And Florida, they just came out and did really well, even though the refs were kind of on their side, but it don't matter, because there was bad calls then and there. But it didn't really matter, as Florida came back from a 12-point deficit, where they was down by 12 for most of the second half. And in that game, Walter Clayton was completely locked down, where he got held to only 10 points and shot 1 for 7 from the 3-point line. Yes, he was doing really bad that game, and not only that, he only had 2 points in the first half, which was really bad. And y'all can see why I said Houston was going to win, or I thought Houston was going to win, because their defense, they locked down Walter Clayton for that whole first half up until the second half, where they started making shots. Guys such as Will Richards stepped up big time for this for the Florida team, where he had about 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 steals, and he had a lot of transition points in that game. And then Alex Condon, he had 12 points, 7 boards, and 4 steals. Shot the ball pretty well, shooting 5 for 9 from the field. And other than that, they was just, they won that game. And congrats to Florida, they won their 3rd national championship. Yes, also Clayton did put up about 5 rebounds and 7 assists in that game, where he shot pretty bad, shooting 3 for 10 from the field. Other than that, my honest opinion about this Florida team, they played good. The defense was really well in the second half, where they came back and started scoring, and they won that game mainly because of scoring and rebounding. And then also, we all know the Emmanuel Sharp shot, which it wasn't even a shot, where it came down to the final seconds. Emmanuel Sharp had a chance to knock down a 3, but not only did he not get the shot off, but he put the ball straight down to the ground when he was midair, and it was just a crazy coincidence. I'll show y'all the play right here. And other than that, it was just bad for Houston in the last final seconds. And yeah, it was just bad, as Florida took the national championship. And for this Houston team too, LJ Cryer absolutely carried this team. 19 points, 6 boards. He did shot really bad, shooting 6 for 18 from the field and only 4 for 11 from three. But he played a pretty solid game as a unit, as a whole. And his teammates, yeah, they didn't really. They scored a little bit, such as Juwan Roberts and Emmanuel Sharp himself, the man who kind of sold that game. They both had 8 points, and Juwan Roberts, he had 8 rebounds and 3 blocks, while on the other hand, Sharp had 6 rebounds, shooting 3 for 11 from the field and 1 for 7 from three. Not only that, uh, Houston was in the foul trouble for the second half. They had about a total of like 11 fouls throughout like 4 different guys, not four, 3 different guys, which was really bad. Which LJ Cryer had 4 fouls, Roberts had 4 fouls, and Sharp had 3 fouls. Yes, it was insane. I think Francis ended up getting fouled out that game, and it was a lot going on. A lot of calls, especially during them 8 minutes. It was a lot of stop and go type of play, not like really. Oh, it was like 8 or 9 minutes of consistent play and consistent scoring. It was just a lot of stop and go due to the fact that there is fouls called every 30 seconds, which that was kind of boring, kind of weird. And some of the fouls wasn't even fouls, and yeah, but other than that, it was a really good game. They knocked down threes to take the lead by two. Florida did, and Houston they just couldn't get a shot off. That was really it. Good game, probably one of the best games I've watched in recent memory. Really thought this Houston team was going to win. We'll see what Houston would do after this national championship, and see what will Florida do after this national championship. But other than that, congratulations to Florida for winning the national championship, and congrats to Houston for making it a really good game, and if not one of the best games in this past decade. Now, the next topic we are going to be talking about here is the girls' national championship game. Now, this game was lopsided. I know what y'all want to say. Oh, it was boring. It wasn't like a good game. Number 2 UConn versus number 1 South Carolina, where UConn ended up winning their 14th national championship, led by Paige Beckers and Sarah Strong, who had 24 points and 15 rebounds. She played a really good game, shooting 10 for 15, and UConn's defense was out of its mind that game, where South Carolina couldn't really score like that, and they got held to 59 points, where the final score was 82 to 59. UConn won, and South Carolina ended up losing, getting blown out. South Carolina, led by Tessa Jackson and Joyce Edwards, both had 10 points apiece. Well, they both had 20 points combined together, and Cole Kitts had only 9 points and 6 rebounds. Wasn't really a good game for her, and yeah, it was just not good. They played great defense, blocked a lot of shots, and they also shot really well from the field, shooting about 60% from the field, which was really great for UConn. And other than that, congrats to UConn, and it was just a good game overall as a unit. It was a good game for Paige Beckers and her UConn team. Also, Ozzie Ford also had 24 points for UConn. And if you guys want to know what Paige Beckers did, she didn't really have the best game, but she did have about 17 points, where most of her points came off free throws. But she also knocked down a couple threes, or not even a couple threes. She actually went 0 for 2 from 3, my bad. And it was just overall not a solid game for her. It's just, yeah, just not the best game. But it don't matter. UConn won the national championship. So yes, there it is. Florida is your men's 2024 national champions, where they win their third national title, and UConn won their 14th, which that'll be their first in a minute. But congrats to both teams. They played really well, and yeah, this NCAA tournament as a whole was pretty good. I honestly think, if you guys ask me what was the NCAA tournament 1 out of 10 for men's and women's, I'll say a cool little 7, 7.5. Probably seen some of the best games, especially Houston versus Duke. That was one of the best games during that tournament, where Houston came back in 36 seconds. That was a really great comeback, and it was probably one of the best games I've watched. Taking down a Houston team, taking down Cooper Flag and Duke. Yeah. But other than that, though, it was a good game. Honestly, both teams played well. And with that being said, that is it for the boys and girls national championship recap. And on to the next topic. And now the big topic here is the transfer portal. There has been moves going on, as it is official that Robert Wright, Baylor point guard and Delaware native, Wilmington, Delaware native, Robert Wright, is officially transferring from Baylor and is going to BYU for 3.5 million. Yes, 3.5 million, y'all. He will be teaming up with AJ DeBanza, who's the number 2 player in the country for high school basketball. And not only that, he is a 5-star recruit. As the forward and guard duo will be looking really good in the BYU Cougars jersey, as Rob Wright this past season, averaged about 11.5 points, 2.1 rebounds, and 4.2 assists, shooting 41% from the field, and playing a really good role, and played a pretty big role in Baylor's run to the NCAA tournament, where they lost to Duke in the second round, losing by 20. Honestly, my opinion about this move, I think it is a great move for BYU. And not only did it get AJ DeBanza for 7 mil, they got Rob Wright for 3 mil. I think that is a really good move. And honestly, I feel like this BYU team can go back to the NCAA tournament and possibly be a top 5 team with now the 2 of them on the team. And they already have a really good roster around them. So I honestly think Baylor, they can definitely make it far, probably to the Elite Eight, possibly Final. I don't know about Final Four, but I know Elite Eight, Sweet 16. I can see that for them next year. And yeah, it was just a great move. Going to be around some great players at BYU, and it's just going to be good for both of them. So I would highly, highly want to see what Rob Wright and what the rest of this BYU team does. It was a big move. Honestly, is this a big loss for Baylor? Yes, it is. Losing that freshman guard, and they also losing VJ too, which that is going to be big for them, and it's going to be bad for the Bears. And how I feel about this transfer portal. This transfer portal, it has been crazy. There's also other guys such as Xavier Lee, RJ Lewis Jr., Deron Williams, Bennett Strike, Mikey Williams, and Elliot Cadile, who's all transferring from their schools. And speaking of transferring, Xavier Lee transferring from Princeton, one of the best point guards in the country. Xavier Lee, he averaged 16.9 points per game, 6.1 rebounds, and 5.5 assists per game in his junior year, shooting 43% for the field. And he had a really solid year with this Princeton team, where they did not go to the NCAA tournament this time around. And if not one of the best point guards in the country, is now transferring. And honestly, this is a big hit for Princeton due to the fact that they're losing a star in the making. Well, yes, their star point guard, Xavier Lee. He is going to be gone. And not only that, the rest of the team isn't really all that not good. So yeah, it is going to be bad for them, or for them. And yeah, due to the fact that Xavier Lee carried this team all the way to the Ivy League tournament, not only that, they went on to the semifinals where they lost to Cornell. It was just a bad, like not bad, but it was like they didn't make the NCAA tournament this time around. And instead, Yale ended up getting the automatic bid for them this year in the NCAA tournament instead of Princeton. Honestly, what I feel about this is I feel like is a solid move. I feel like this would have been a way better move if he did it last year. After what he did at Princeton his sophomore year, I definitely feel like it would have been a way better move if he did it last year instead of this year. But it is what it is, and now he's also looking at colleges such as St. John's, where he visited that not too long ago. In my honest opinion, if he does go to St. John's, I feel like it's going to be a really good move for him and just for St. John's as a whole. Because St. John's, if there's one thing they have defense. They like transitioning and scoring the ball. And I feel like the one thing they really need is a main scorer. And getting Xavier Lee from Princeton, I feel like that would be really good. I don't know if he's fully committed yet, but he visited there not too long ago, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Will he get offered some money and go to St. John's? We will see. As he has been a really good scorer for Princeton, and I definitely think he'll be a really good player for St. John's and really fit their system. Other than that, though, besides him, I definitely think another guy who's also made a big move is Elliot Cadell. He ended up transferring UNC to Michigan. Do I think this is the best move? I think it is a pretty solid move. Ellie Cadell, he's been a really good player for UNC, the freshman. He averaged about a total of 9 points per game, 2.9 rebounds, and he also averaged 6.2 assists, shooting 44% from the field and only 33 from three, which is not that much. He's been a really good scorer. I mean, not really good, but he has been a solid scorer for UNC. And this UNC team was mainly carried by none other than RJ Davis, who is now going to be graduating and possibly going to the NBA draft, depending on what he does. But yeah, this UNC team wasn't that good, and Ellie Cadell, he was another guy that I honestly think he made the right move going to Michigan. Michigan is coming off a pretty good season where they ended up getting knocked out in the Sweet 16. And other than that, Michigan is going to be losing some pretty solid talent. So with Elliott going to Michigan, I think it is a pretty good move for both parties. And UNC, I feel like that is going to be bad losing him, especially due to the fact that he was their second or third leading scorer. And then another guy who's transferring is Mikey Williams. He was an internet sensation back in 2020 to like 2022 or whatever. Well, he still is an internet sensation, but he was an absolute highlight reel and a former five-star recruit who ended up getting arrested back in last year, back in 2024, due to some gun charges, and ended up not playing at Memphis last year because he was supposed to play at Memphis, but he ended up getting arrested or whatever, and then ended up transferring to UCF when he got out of jail. When he got out of jail. Other than that, Mikey transferring to UCF, or leaving UCF, I think it is a decent move, or maybe it was alright, I guess. I don't know. It depends on what college he goes to after UCF. I think it is a solid move, but I don't think it is a good move, though. And the reason why I don't think it's a good move is mainly due to the fact that he didn't really get no playing time like that, due to the fact that he averaged about 5.1 points per game, 1.9 rebounds, and 0.7 assists, and he shot really bad, shooting 37% from the field. Yes, UCF was not that good of a team this year, not even making the tournament, nowhere close, but I think it was not really the best move for him, though. And honestly, he ended up teaming up with guys such as Dior Johnson and so on. This team just wasn't that good, and I honestly think him just moving or trying to transfer now is not a right move. Yes, he was a former five-star. Is he a good player? Yeah, he's a pretty good basketball player in my opinion. But him transferring right now, I don't think is the right move. And right now, he's currently the age of 20, so I don't know. I don't know about this move, especially due to the fact he barely got any tick. He did get to start a couple games, surprisingly, and played pretty well a couple games, but most games he was playing not that well, and he was just really inconsistent player this year. But we'll see what he does in the nearby future. And with that being said, y'all, thank you guys for enjoying this video. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out my Barstool, or not my Barstool, my Instagram page at AT Barstool and my TikTok page, which will be linked in the bio. Also, don't forget to sign up for the Summercast Marathon if you guys want to be on it. Not sign up, but DM me if you guys want to be in the Summercast Marathon. It's a 10-day Summercast Marathon. It is going on June 3rd to June 13th. And not only that, honestly, it's going to be about entertainment or whatever and all this other stuff. But with that being said, y'all, thank you guys for enjoying this video. And as of right now, for my Summercast, I do have only 4. Yes, 4 spots taken already, so I do have 6 more open. But other than that, thank you guys for enjoying this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And with that being said, hope y'all enjoyed today's video and hope y'all have a good day. God bless y'all. Peace.